Well, good morning, my friend. It is Monday morning, December the 27th, and it is a thrill to be along with you today. Of course, we've been, a longer weekend, Christmas and everything going on. Had a good time yesterday in church to finish the year out on Sunday. Still one more service in the year, and I'm looking forward to that service to see what God's going to do on Wednesday night. And it's going to be an exciting Wednesday night service here at Maranatha Baptist Church as we close the year out. Then Sunday starts the new year. And I'm excited to see what I'm going to do in our church in 2022. I hope that you're looking forward as well to see God do something miraculous in our churches in 2 years. How we need God to do something. I want to read to you this morning, though, as we start out this week from the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 4. The scripture says, "For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith." Now, the world can sometimes seem overwhelming. It knows how to defeat our spirit as a believer. But the believer doesn't have to succumb to the world's temptations or battles. The fact that you are saved means that you already have inside of you what it takes to overcome the world. In other words, you've already won if you're saved. Now, what we ought to do is we ought to live like a winner. Sadly, too many times as a believer, we live like a loser. We ought not to live like the loser. We ought to live like the winner. Now, God didn't say that it'd be easy to overcome the world. The fact that God uses the phrase overcometh the world means that there will be a struggle to overcome the world. But the victory is already within us. So you won't overcome the world if you quickly give in to the struggle. You won't win against the world if you run from the battle. My friend, the word overcometh means it's a continual overcoming. In other words, you overcome one battle, then you overcome another battle, then you overcome another battle, and so forth. You see, it's a continual battle, a continual struggle to overcome, but you can win. So, what is the key to this promise to overcome the world? The key is faith. The verse that I read to you says, "And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith." Now, living by faith is the only way you're going to overcome the world. God didn't say that you had to have a lot of faith. He simply says that your faith is what overcomes the world. In other words, whatever amount of faith that you have is great enough to overcome anything that the world throws at you. The only thing you must do is choose to live by the faith that you do have and stop worrying about not having the faith that someone else has. Now, why is faith the victory to overcome the world? First, faith is the victory because you're trusting God. You will never fail when you trust God. Anyone who's ever trusted God has never been disappointed. Anyone who's ever trusted man has always been let down. You're always on the winning side when you have the faith to trust God. Second, faith is the victory because faith is what grabs God's attention. It pleases God when the believer lives or acts by faith. Therefore, when you choose to live or act by faith, you grab God's attention on your life. Third, faith is the victory because it involves God in your life. Now, you're guaranteed to win when God's involved in your life. The greatest thing about faith is that you're doing more than you're capable of doing. So God has to step in, and you're getting God now involved in your life. One of the greatest reasons that believers live a defeated life is because they never have faith attempts in their life. When all you do is what it takes for your abilities to do, you're leaving God on the sidelines. Living and attempting great acts of faith is when God gets involved. It's not that God won't do great works today. It's only because we as believers haven't attempted great acts of faith today that requires God to work. You cannot fail when you trust God enough to attempt great works of faith. My friend, get this now. If I'm doing everything that I can do, God doesn't need to help you. But when you step out by faith and you do something greater than yourself, now it takes God to get involved. Fourth, faith is the victory because it squelches the appetite for the world and creates a greater appetite for God. The world will seem so little when you get God involved in your life of faith, because you got his presence and you experience his power. And if you truly want to overcome the world, you have to live and act by faith, for faith is our victory to overcome the world. Now, let me ask you a question. What is it that you're avoiding because it's going to take faith? Whatever it is that you're avoiding, you are limiting what God can do through your life. I want to challenge you today. We're coming towards the end of the year. Can I challenge you in 2022? Get God involved in your life. Grab his attention. How? Live by faith. Act by faith. Pray by faith. Do great things of faith. In your ministry, attempt something great for God by faith. And when we do things by faith, it gets God involved with us. We get in the yoke with him. And then, boy, the presence of God and seeing the power of God firsthand is a wonderful thing. My friend, I hope this is a help, a challenge, and an encouragement to you to do something by faith. Remember today, be good to everybody. Everybody's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.